just a bloke in a bar.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Bloke in a Bar, brought to you, powered by Bloke Beer. Get into your local, grab a case. We're in every Celebrations, Bottle-O, IGA Plus Liquor and Portals Liquor in New South Wales, ACT, plus hundreds of other stores across Queensland, New South Wales, ACT and Victoria. Or if you want some merchandise, go to bloke.shop. We've got party shirts, singlets, boardies, we've got thongs, we've got cooler bags, everything. And that's what keeps the lights on here. But I'm super stoked to have the great man, Jesse Ramien, here. How you going, brother?
Yeah, good, bro. Yourself?
Mate, absolutely fantastic, bro. I've been keen as to get you on because I thought this last season for you was like one of your best seasons, to be honest. I think you've been playing some really good footy, and I love the whole vibe around the Sharks at the moment. How's it the off-season been?
Yeah, it's been good, bro. It's always good in the off-season. I end up getting away, getting over to Bali for a bit, bro, as most of the boys do in the off-season.
Yeah.
But it was a good time, bro. Just kick back, didn't train too much. Enjoyed the break, but good to be back now.
It's that balance, bro, because I feel like one of the years where I trained the hardest in the off season. By the time I got to around January, I started getting like little niggly injuries because I'd trained too hard for too long. And then other seasons where like I did not that much. By the time I got to February and I was fucking ready, raring to go. But you can't come back too underdone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And like you said, bro, you got to find that balance. It's all about. I think probably when you're young, you're probably keen to. You want to rip in, the whole off season, but most of the older fellas tell you got to have that balance. You got to, enjoy your off season a bit, but keep your body ticking over.
Yeah, 100%. It's just that balance, bro. Because then there were some off seasons where I'd come back and just fucking blow out, and you're taking like 8 weeks to get back to a bar. And you're just like,
bro.
Oh my god. Do you guys have fat squad at Sharkies?
We do, bro.
Have you ever had to experience it or what?
I actually have. It was, I think. What was it? Last 2 years is the first time I reckon I haven't been in it.
Oh really?
Yeah. So before the last 2 years, I reckon I looked at food, I put on weight. I could not eat anything, I reckon, without putting on weight. But I was just and I'd always try and in the off season, got to the off season, I'm like, I can smack a burger here and there and eat whatever I want, and then you get back into the preseason, you regret it all. But I was in Fat Club for the last couple of years, but lucky to be out of it two.
And so Sharky's Fat Club, is that once a week or is it every day?
So I think they go Wednesday mornings, like a day or like a recovery swim session. You got to come in early, so I think it's 6 a.m.
Yeah,
and then he'll just hit you with a few random. So you might finish it. No. Yeah. So you might be finished a big day. Yeah. Big con session. And say, righto, done. Get your extras done, boys. But here and here, we've got 5 more 240s.
Oh no.
Or it might, little things like that. Or it'll be, righto, boys, we got the weekend off. And then 30 minutes later after he said that, but the Fat Club, you got to come in Saturday morning, sees at 5:30.
Oh my god, so that's tough. That is so tough. Because at the Bronx, it was just Wednesday, like the recovery day. Yeah, we'd have to come in at 6 and just get absolutely fucking towed up. But the random nature of that, you don't want to be in that club. No way.
It's filthy, bro. And it's a not knowing. Yeah, like you said, you could probably handle. If you knew it was Wednesday morning, get your head around it. But the factor in there just comes on you like that.
Oh my god! I used to always be like blowing up to the skinnies later. I'd be like, I just got thick skin, man. Like just fucking thick natural skin.
That's like me. I was in there saying, bro, I'm big boned. Like, there's nothing you can do.
Oh, how good. What's it like? Yeah, what's the year been like, man? Like it just you guys. You didn't come out of nowhere, but far out. You've improved incredibly. Obviously, Nico's a good buy for you, but across the board, like I feel like every single player, probably wasn't any of your 17 that didn't improve last year. Looking on anyway, what was it like internally?
Yeah, I thought it was, it was unreal, bro. Like being around the club, all the boys from the preseason, we come pretty close, pretty quick, bro. Like in terms of some boys, you can see it a lot in some clubs. Sometimes older guys will. Separate from younger and vice versa. But, from the start, we all brought into sort of what, Fitzy was bringing to the club. And I think Fitzy's massive on off the field as well. So, on our days off and that, we'd all try and link up, get a feed together and and go
Coffees.
for a swim. Yeah, coffees.
1,000 coffees a day.
1,000 coffees, bro. You get real over it real quick.
Yeah.
If you don't drink coffee, you'll drink it real quick. So but it was good. It was good to be a part of, bro. It was and I think that only flowed into our on the field.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Nico had a massive year. I think Dale and Camo, the way they set the standard at training with how they train, bro, was another level.
What was it like seeing them going at it first?
Bro, it's crazy. From the first drill, they're just 100 miles an hour, bro. They're just flying in, hitting each other, bashing each other. There's no more gentleman's agreement in the wrestle room.
Oh no!
He's me over in the corner trying
Mate, if I didn't have gentleman agreement, I wouldn't have made it in footy.
100%, bro. And you try and steer clear of them, but the old fucking 3-2-1 switch, find a new partner, and they find you pretty quick. But it was good for the club, bro. I think it was
sure.
it was what we needed, and definitely sort of showed in how we played this year, I think.
Sure. Yeah, they were such good buys because, at the very least, they're going to bring a standard that everyone's going to have to try to meet. And it's tough initially because, it's new. It's fuck, this is pretty intense. But once everyone gets a bit used to it, all of a sudden, your 5 out of 10 is up here.
Yeah,
everyone's
100%.
a bit higher,
Yeah, definitely, bro.
What was it like with Fitzy coming in, Craig Fitzgibbon, new coach, rookie coach? What did he bring, do you feel, that was a bit unique to, say, not specifically to other coaches, but just something unique that he brought?
Something unique. I reckon probably just how we. I wouldn't say it's unique. Everyone's professional, but he's just so driven in the fact. I don't know. He left swear.
Do it.
Yeah. He's just he just has this mentality. He's don't fuck with the footy. Footy comes first. Footy gives you, most things that you got, and he's, put everything into it from training, going home, being a good partner at home. That translates into your footy. Eating the right food, that translates into your footy. And I think from the very first day that I rocked up to pre-season anyway, he's just been drilling that, and still to this day, he just drills it, and reminds us each day that. Every little detail, every little thing matters, and coming from someone like that that's done what he's done in the game, and you definitely take it in a lot more. Yeah. So I definitely think probably that, Brian. He's probably his wrestle sessions as well. He loves his jiu-jitsu. Loves his jiu-jitsu.
Really?
Yeah, loves
Big
it.
fella.
Yeah. So we had today's a little recovery day and that, but we do a little wrestling session.
Yep.
Yeah, just
a flow.
Yeah, just a little one. He likes to get as many in as he can.
Yeah.
Yeah, but loves rolling around in the mat, the big fella.
It's you're right in regards to the type of player he was. Demands respect. You have to listen to what he says because of what he achieved and what he did in the game.
Bro.
But what seems good about him is he has that really high standard and expects a lot, but he also seems approachable.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can get coaches that at a full hectic high standard, but it's very hard to connect with them a bit.
Yeah, definitely. And and I've felt I had that before. Obviously, when I was at the Knights, as probably didn't connect. There was no way that I connect with Brownie the way I can connect with Fitzy. He's a massive for family off the field too, bro. He's a big believer in you're happy off the field, and your family life's good off the field.
Yep.
Flows onto you on the field.
Yep.
So
100%, bro, 100%. And it's different coaches just suit different people. Sometimes you can connect with one coach, sometimes another coach just doesn't seem to work for whatever reason.
Yeah.
What an exciting year. But we'll get to the season, how it all went. But take us back to a young fella, born in about an hour and a half northeast of Dubbo.
Yeah, born in small country town, bro, Kangaroos, New South Wales.
Yep.
Pretty much. Grew up there, spent all my childhood there, bro. Local kid, pretty much played all sports, bro. Got a pretty big family. Got 2 older brothers, 1 younger, 2 older sisters, and 1 younger sister as well.
Wow,
so, yeah, big family, bro. So we're always on the go with sport and whatnot. So kept busy as a young fella, but lived there up until I was about, I think I was about 11, and the old man and mum sort of just pushed me to, give footy a crack and move away from home. So I ended up going down to a trial at Hunter Sports High in Newey.
Yep.
And so I got picked up. I was lucky enough to get selected from the trials to go to school there. So I was pretty stoked about that. So I think I was 11 and I moved away from home then and moved into a Aboriginal hostel.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I think it's called Kirinari.
Yep.
Down there in Newcastle. And
was that because coming through the grades as an Aussie, you see a lot of Indigenous kids come down and they really struggle with missing their culture and their background. Did it help the fact that you moved into something that was a bit more comfortable, or it was just normal?
Yeah, it did actually, bro. I had one of my mates from the town over, so Galar's the next. Yeah, Galar's about 20 minutes from Canamble, and it was actually my mate that I grew up playing footy with was done the same thing. So we were both going to Hunter Sports together.
That's mad.
And living in the hostel together.
Yeah.
So, but being in the hostel, everyone's in the same situation. Kids coming down from all country towns out that way, and whether that be going to Hunter or Cardiff and doing football, or there was some Indigenous kids there were doing gymnastics and whatnot. But you all become pretty close, real quick, and it sort of gives you that
family
that family vibe and family feeling. So you do miss home, but you learn the boys sort of become your new family pretty quick. For sure. I mean, obviously it's different for yourself, but even when I went to New Zealand, I just struggled without family and home, bro. And I, you know what I mean? It's just something about it. But I think if you it's the best of a tough situation. It's always going to be hard, but at least you're with a mate that understands where you're from. You know what I mean? Yeah, 100%, bro. Definitely.
Okay, so but before you went over, so for your parents to say, you should go for this trial, were you already, excelling in rugby league, or was it something that just kind of not a shot in the dark, but they just had belief in you because you were their son, kind of thing?
Yeah, I think it was more. They just had belief. I think I made a couple of. I think it's called Northwest out there, the representative region. I think I made Northwest team when I was in primary school. But other than that, I never really made any further upsides than that. So I think they'll just there's a lot more opportunity if I do go on and does football does become something. So I think that's why they pushed me to go away a bit. Yeah, it wasn't like I was
killing it.
Yeah, killing it and thing.
Mate, 11 years old, far out. Would have been 11 years. That's a big risk, because you could be immediately homesick and be like, what am I doing here? But to be out of home at 11, far out.
Yeah, and it's crazy, bro. There's actually a lot of boys who came to the hostel and didn't stay too long. They're only there for a couple of months and then go home, because like you said, especially in our culture, a lot of people do get homesick. They're from small country towns. They're used to having family, community close, and
100%.
And they just can't cope with being away for too long. So they come down and just end up cutting back home.
It's something that I'm not sure what it's like now, but I do think that it could be something that could be improved with NRL squads and that, where because they're coming from a culture that is different to our own, that maybe we could create an environment that eased them in a little bit. Eased the players in a little bit.
Definitely.
Because as I said, some of the kids that used to come down at the Bronx, they would be so good, bro, so good, but they just miss their family and it was just too hard. And as I said, I experienced it a little bit. I know it's a different culture, but even me personally going to New Zealand, so I can only imagine. But yeah, so you're 11 years old. So what was school like? Was it because you don't have your parents there? How'd they keep you out of trouble, bro?
Yeah, it was. You sort of. It was good, bars. You you got all the boys there. You're leaning on the boys for everything. There's a few older. I think it pretty much goes up to year 12. So the older boys are your big brothers. But school was good, bar. Hunter Sports was a good time. Like I said, Newcastle was a good place to live.
Yeah, 100.
I was just there, school and footy. You're with the boys all the time. You're playing footy on the weekend, playing footy at schools. It was my first time at a sports school.
Okay.
So, I I got to train during period, like it was a full period dedicated to training. And I thought that was the best thing ever, bro.
Yeah.
So from my time at Hunter, I was loving it, bro.
Yeah.
I felt like I was a professional athlete.
How good.
When I was there,
Mate, when I was so I went to school, just like a Catholic school, and I think I might have been in like year 10 or 11 where I found out that other schools actually had sport as a subject. And I was like, what?
Yeah, that's what I was like too, bro.
What the how come I'm not at school? And I was like, Dad was like, no, we want you to focus on this, that. And I was like, fair enough. So what age do you think that you really started to kind of like, I guess, begin to excel and get noticed by?
It was probably when I was, I think it was probably when I went to Hunter Sports. When I started playing there, you start playing Westfield Sports High School, Patrician Brothers, and you start. I think there's a lot more talent scouts and managers and whatnot go to those to try and pick up the young talent. And when I started playing that, I started, I guess, just get a lot more exposure. And then I had I think it was the Knights. I was with like a development thing with the Knights, and then I didn't get picked up by them, but our coach at Hunter Sport, Justin Stewart was his name. He was the SG ball coach, the Hal Mats coach for Manly at the time.
Yep.
So he was living in Newey, travelling down. I think they trained on a Tuesday, Thursday. He'd travel down and he asked me, was I keen to come down and check Manly out and, jump in with him and, see what it was all about and do a couple training sessions. And I spoke to my old man and I agreed to it. And then I think it was like probably a few months later, I ended up signing like a contract with Manly. And for, I think it was for Hal, it was like 2 years for like a Hal Mats and then SG Ball. And I was just, the first year I was just travelling down with him Tuesday, Thursdays, and he dropped me back to the hostel. And
damn. It's a long, what's that, like a 4-hour round trip?
Yeah, bro, it was pretty long. I slept most of the way there. I was a young fella.
He was the one driving?
Yeah, he was driving.
So you ended up at Manly. Did you make any rep sides when you did get to the school? Did you begin to make rep sides then, or no, not really? Not yet.
Not really. I was just.
Were you a centre all the time, or fullback?
No, so when I was coming through young, I always played fullback.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, out home, I was pretty skinny actually. Like out at home, it wasn't until I got to Hunter and you start doing like some gym sessions and with the development. Like I was with that development squad for I think it was like under 15s or something, or might have been 14s or 13. And they try and start getting you into weights and whatnot, and telling you the right things to eat. And that's when I probably put on a bit of size, but I was always just a skinny fella and just played fullback. I like get my hands on the ball
whenever you can, you get in there kind of thing.
Yeah, so I played fullback all the way through, and it wasn't until I went to Hunter, bro. They put me in the centres. I think they had, because when I was at Hunter, Sione Matauti.
Oh,
he was there.
wow.
I think he was playing fullback. So
Wow.
Yeah, so not gonna move the big fella.
Youngest ever Australian debutant, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he was.
Far out. He was a gun. Good fella too. I met him years and years ago. Okay, so was it disheartening the fact that Newey Knights development didn't push you through, or were you just kind of like, oh, it is what it is? Like, because like you'd moved there for an opportunity, and that would be your first roadblock, I guess. Yeah,
it wasn't really disheartening. Like I as a young fella, you just love playing, bro.
Yeah.
Like I was happy to be down there. I was happy to be, being able to play. So when they didn't pick me up, I didn't think too much of it.
Yeah.
When Manly gave me a shot, I was just more, grateful and not like, you fellas don't want me and thing. I was just, happy that I was being able to sign with a NRL club.
100%.
When I signed that contract, I remember, ringing all the family saying, I'm with Manly Seagulls.
Yeah,
and
good.
Yeah, so it was unreal, bar, but there was no like hard feelings early or anything like that.
Just kind of just loving footy pretty much.
Yeah, I was just loving playing, bro. Just playing whenever I can, just enjoying it.
Okay, so you get down to Manly and you're driving, basically, hours and hours a week. Is this where you stepped up again, another level in the way you were playing? Because like I think mid-year 2016, you made the switch to Sharkies.
Yeah, so it was in 2016. 2016. I think it was when Baz first come to the Seagulls. I think it was his first year, 2016, and I end up getting a preseason. So I get in the preseason.
What was that first NRL preseason? What was it like, bro?
I was rattled. I was living on the Central Coast, and I was
oh no.
Yeah, there was a few boys traveling. I was just like, first couple sessions I was pumped, bro. I was like, when your first couple sessions
Get
up,
the kit and that.
yeah, you get the kit. You training with everyone. They had Steve Maddle there, Jamie Lyon there, Brett Stewart, and I was just on a high bar the first week, and the second week it just all hit me, and I was just like, I was tired, I was sore, I was sick of getting bashed in wrestle. Oh, bro, there was some tough times, but it wasn't until I finished the preseason out, started playing, and then pretty much, I think it was Trent Barrett just pretty much told my management, he said, you're sort of not what we're looking for in the centre, like we don't think you'll play first grade. So he just said, like, we're happy for you to like look around if you want. So I was lucky enough, Johnny Morris over at the Sharks was 20s coach at the time, and I went and had a meeting with them, and he was pretty keen to get me, and I had a little one at the time, and I just wanted to sort of have a real good crack at footy. So I was a bit hesitant. That's why I was living on the coast. My little one was there.
How old were you when you had your first kid?
I was 16.
Holy.
Yeah, so I was real young, bro.
Bro, walk us through that. Like, it's just, that would blow my mind, bro. Like, I'm 35, I still don't have one, and I'm wigging out about it. Yeah,
no, it was crazy, bro. It was it was pretty tough at the time. I dropped obviously when I found out, I thought, I'm going to have to, give footy up, drop out of school. So I left school for a bit, started doing landscaping, to make a bit of money, moved to Sydney. My old man was living in Sydney at the time. Like, I think probably a year or two before that, he ended up moving to Sydney. So, moved to Sydney. He was living out in Mount Druitt, so living there, and I was just working landscaping, and then just trying to, I just
earn
thought,
some money
earn some money, for the little one, and then it probably wasn't until I had a good hard think, and I was like, if I can, make footy back and go a long way in helping me, set up the little one, and
absolutely,
and set up my family, and that was probably the first time that I'd start to take footy seriously.
Okay.
And like try and like do it professionally. Like before that, I just cruise. Love playing it.
Yeah.
But wasn't until then that I realised I got to switch on now. And, footy's a way for me to provide for my family. So.
Yeah. It's I mean, they always say like kids will make a man of you.
Yeah.
Oh man, you have to be a man pretty early.
Yeah, it was, bro.
When you see 16-year-olds now, like how young they look, are you like, how did I get through this?
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. Especially when I see some of the young fellas coming to training and that, and you see when you go talk to the development boys or whatever, it's just I look back and me flashbacks, and I'm just thinking, how did I get through it? But
far out. So basically, when Manly said, look, we just don't see you in our plans, was that the first kind of like hit of like, oh crap, because like you were passionate about making a professional then, or you were always in your head like, no, it's going to work, I just got to keep working?
Yeah, that was probably my first big one, bro. I was like, it was the first time, that was probably my first, like I said, big hurdle. Like I was pretty filthy on it. I thought, I was, playing good enough to at least be, kept there.
Yeah, because you're still in under 20s.
Like, still in under 20s, and I was, for them to say probably you're not what looking for in the centre was pretty disheartening, and I didn't know, because I'd only been at the one club even though I was only young. I was like, I don't know if anybody else will sort of want me or anything like that. So yeah, but when I end up signing with Sharks, I was pretty confident, and like I said, it just probably drove me a bit more, and I wanted to crack it more.
Yeah, and it kind of like sometimes those setbacks can like even focus you even harder, because you realise like there's all these little things I could even do even better to make sure this never happens again.
Yeah, 100%, bro. And that's why I was like I said before, I was living on the coast, and I was like, I'm gonna have to sacrifice, moving away from the little one.
Yeah,
that's when I ended up moving to, I was like, I got to move to Cronulla if I want to have a crack at, being a first grader and playing NRL. I was like, right, it's something.
It's
a short sacrifice, but it's something, I'm going to have to do.
It's just like, it's a sacrifice. It's a huge sacrifice that you just don't hear about, but like that's what you're willing to do to make it work, like a lot of people would have said, you know what, I'm going to get a job and stay back home and do this, that. But like, did you feel pressure with those decisions, or you just believed?
I did feel pressure. Like I was a lot right, and I was like, for myself, me and my little one are pretty close, so like to move away, I was like, I don't know if I want to do it. And there's a lot of times I was even, at Cronulla, and I just felt like, I just felt like going back to the coast and getting a job. But I was, I always tried to put in my head, if I can make a career out of footy and crack it, then not only does that help me, it also helps my family as well.
We'll get to the chat in just a second, but Bloke in every single celebrations across New South Wales is right now on special. So head into your celebrations in New South Wales, grab a case of Bloke. If they don't have it, it's either sold out or just ask them to order more. Bloke is on special in every celebration across New South Wales. Let's get back to the chat. So you get to the Sharkies. So mid-season switch. So as soon as you got there, did you begin to play in the New South Wales, the NYC team?
Yeah, so I jumped straight in halfway through the year. So I think we did too bad that year. I don't know if we made finals. I think we might have made finals, and then we end up getting dusted first round of the finals. But coming from Manly, I think the 20s wasn't going that too good that year. So
because like you went from a guy that was getting told mid-season essentially like we don't see you playing first grade to literally playing in the World Club Challenge that next season. Did your game go to another level when you went to Cronulla, or you just kept playing the way you were and they just seemed to like the way you played? Yeah,
I think I sort of just kept playing the way I was. With the World Club Challenge, I sort of had a bit, go in my favour. I was lucky enough, in the pre-season, went to the Nines, got picked to go to the Nines with the Sharks. I played on the wing and bit in the centres over there, and I played a few good games, and I think it was all the other boys. So Val, I think it was Val at the time, Jordan Drew, Fecky, they all played so half come to the Nines, half went to the trials. I think they went up Brizzy to play Brisbane.
Yep.
Val got hurt in the trial, scoring a try in the corner.
Wow.
Feck got hurt in the trial. I think he was in a tackle or something. And then Jordan Drew was next in line. So I wasn't even, so in the preseason, they called a team in of who would be going. I wasn't even in the team, like in the meeting of who would be going. So there was like all the team that would be going, and then there was like a few backup players that if anyone got injured. And then after them two, they said, like Jordan Drew, you're in, you'll be going. So he was playing on the wing, and then at training, he got injured. So three people got injured. And
That's craziness.
Yeah, and then I was just in the gym one day, and they had a meeting, and Flanagan goes like, "Congrats, mate! Like, you're going to be coming to the World Club Challenge." And I was just like, I was stoked, bro. I was over the moon.
Oh man, and like you're going with the premiership winning side too.
It was crazy, bro. And I was I was pumped. I was lost for words. I was thinking like, what are the chances? It was as shit as it was for the boys. For someone young like me, I was like, what are the chances of 3 injuries happening, bro, for me to get my crack
in your spot too, in your position? That's like unheard of. And so at this stage, you were training with first grade though.
Yeah, that was my first year. First year with the Sharks.
So when you got there, you made the mid-season switch, and then you played well at Cronulla, and then they put you in the first grade squad for 2017. Okay, so you go to the World Club Challenge, like that. It's one thing to debut. It's another thing to because you obviously flew over to England for the challenge. Like that's a massive trip, like a massive deal. What was it feeling like?
It felt like a holiday. It was like a young Indigenous kid from the bush, and I was pumped when so I didn't even know. They just told us we were flying, and then next thing they know, they go, "Oh, you need to sign up for we're flying business class." And bro, I was just over the moon. I was thinking like, when am I ever gonna get to fly business class again? Yeah. So I was just more pumped about that than anything. I remember, Andrew Freddy was telling me, "Red, wait until you get in this plane." He goes, "You're gonna, lose your mind jumping on there, bro. It was crazy. Never seen anything like it. So I was just more pumped for the business class flight, bro.
100%. Bro, I literally just went business class for the first time, like to my honeymoon.
Yeah.
And I'm still like, bro, this is so hectic, man.
It's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what I was like, bro. I was just like, and, you know, I think we stopped over at Abu Dhabi and went in the business class lounge.
Yep.
Full shower in there, bro. They got feeds and I was just stoked. But, you know, got over there and it was a mad time, bro. You know, I think every second day we got like a massage. You know, first day we got there, they said, you know, go for everyone down to the pub. We're going for a drink.
Yep.
And, you know, it was me, young fella, and you know, I was just soaking it up, bro. And
yep.
It's crazy.
So yeah, you also score a try in the World Club Challenge game.
Yeah.
Do you remember from the game?
I remember it wasn't. It probably wasn't one of my best games. I reckon. I remember I was filthy. I was filthy with how I played, but you know, I was lucky enough. I think it was Bealey come around the back. I remember.
Great, Gerard.
Yeah, I remember him putting a little grubber in, and I was lucky enough to it bounce right up into the arms and get a try. So that's something, you know, something like that I'll always remember. Remember the stadium. You know how loud the fans were. It was crazy, bro. Like we were warming up and they had all the drums and shit out, and you know, it was the first time coming
different
from
atmosphere.
Yeah, come from 20s. You know, it was the first time, you know, playing in front of something like that.
Yeah.
I remember being in the shed and everyone was so serious, but me being a young fella, I was just like looking around, you know. It was
Gal and Luke Lewis and all them there?
Yeah, Gal, like Louis, Wado, and they were all, you know what I mean? They were all things. I think Jimmy Maloney.
Yeah, the great Jimmy Maloney.
Yeah, so.
Is he a great as pest as everyone says he is?
Oh, bro. It's crazy. When I was, even with it was so funny just in the gym, like, they'd tell him to be so serious and he'd sit there and he'd just take the piss out of anything. But then they couldn't say nothing because he'd go out on the weekend and kill it, bro.
Yeah.
He'd go out and thing and he'd win you the game. He'd set up a couple tries. Yeah. And, bro, it was crazy. And they couldn't say anything to him. He'd get in the gym and he'd do fuck all. He'd just walk around, just cruise. And it was crazy, bro.
Mate, he's notorious as one of the great pests.
100%. And he went at Shane Flanagan 24/7.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just went at him.
Oh my God.
It was crazy.
Okay, so you play in the World Club Challenge, and then you play for the Junior Kangaroos against the Junior Kiwis in May. What was that like?
Yeah, it was unreal, bro. You know, there was a few boys from the Sharks actually playing the Kiwis game. So
shit.
So they're playing. I think Sifa was there.
Yeah,
Sifa Talakai, and Siani Katoa.
So
the
shit.
boys, the boys were playing in that side. So but it was unreal, bro. First time, you know, I got to put on the green and gold jersey, and you know, it was a proud moment for myself. And
absolutely, bro.
Bro, it was unreal. You know, first time coming up against the haka.
Yeah,
it was great,
like,
bro.
Again, to think like, you know, moving away from home at 11 years old, and a lot of people in your same situation, they would, like, you have a child young, and get all the way to put on that the great green and gold jersey, and then later in the year you make your debut around 26 against the Newey Knights. Yeah,
it was you know, I thought getting to the back end of the year, you know, I was always open that year. You know, I'd written down at the start of the year, I was like, goals to play, you know, one game NRL for the year. Come to the back end of the year, and you know, I was still hopeful, and then it was probably 3 weeks out from the end of the season, and the boys were just, you know, they're going so well, and I was like, oh, you know, I don't think it's going to happen this year. You know, you got Rick Latelli in the centres, I don't think Rick ever gets injured, tap on wood, but you know, he's killing it. You got Birdie's the other centre, and then you got, I think Val and Fex were on the wing, so I was like, the chance of, you know, one of the boys going down or something like that, so I was like, you know, my time for this year is probably done. And then last round of the year, I think it was captain's run. Birdie's leg or something pulled up a bit tight, or calf. And then Plano goes, oh, you're going to be debuting, mate, against the Knights. So yeah, I was pumped, bro. I just felt like, you know, all the little sacrifices I you know, made to move to the Sharks, and you know, to be away from the little ones and the family when I was younger. You it sort of, paid off a little bit getting that debut.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Like, absolutely incredible. So you get told you're making your debut. What's the phone call like to your old man and your mum and that?
Yeah, it was pretty emotional, bro. Like, I called him up and just said, "No, I'm making my debut." And the old man, shed a tear, and so did mum, and they were just so proud of me, just from where I come from, and the sacrifices they know they were there through through the highs and the lows of my career up until then, and just for them to see me live out my dream for the first time. Yeah, it was crazy, bro. It was a unreal phone call, and never forget.
What was the closest point before then that you got to giving it away? Or it was always like, you might have had times where you're like, maybe I should go home and get a job, but always in the back of your mind is like, no, this is the right path.
Yeah, it's probably times, a few times, probably throughout the year it was 2017. I think it was 2017. Like, I was just, traveling up and back, up to the coast and back and seeing the little one. And, I just felt like I was missing so much time with her, missing those, crucial parts of growing up. She was learning to walk and stuff like that. And I just felt like I was missing a lot of that. And, I had a lot of times where I wanted to, I rang the old man. I was just like, I think I'm done. I think I want to head home. Because when I first come to the Sharks, me and my younger brother both come together.
Okay.
Yeah, but younger brother's a bigger fella. He's not much of a trainer. So he ended up gapping it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was definitely a few times in 2017, bro. I was like, I think I might be.
It might be.
Might be done, and I was ready to, leave it and call it quits.
Yeah.
But lucky enough, I stuck it out, and I was lucky enough at the end of the year to.
Was it advice from your old man of like, mate, you got to stay, or was it more internal of like, no, this is for the best for my kid kind of thing?
It was a bit of both, to be honest. He was, he's always there to, the old man to support me, but at the same time, he doesn't always just tell me what I want to hear. Like,
okay.
You know what I mean? He'll give me the truth and what I need to hear rather than what I want to hear. He gave me the, a bit of what I wanted to hear, but more of, what I needed to hear.
Yeah, okay.
At the time, I was, looking back on it now, I'm pretty lucky that, he said probably those things to me, or else I wouldn't be, here where I am today, bro.
Yeah, it's so many things where you look back on your parents where at the time you're like, what? I don't get why you're saying that.
Yeah, 100%.
As you get older, you're like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm glad you said it.
Yeah, 100%.
100%, bro.
Okay, so your debut rolls around. What do you remember? You put that jersey on. You like when you're sitting in there. Like, we all remember our debuts. You're sitting in the locker room. You're sitting across from some of the best players in the NRL. What do you remember from yours?
Yeah, first thing I remember, I was just pumped. It was in Newey, bro. I was like, I left home to live in Newey. Lived in Newey, so it was a big part of my journey. To be going back there to make my debut. I was like, this is unreal. All the family come over. I think I had like 50 tickets.
Yeah. Cousins.
Yeah, I had cousins, brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, everything. So, I had pretty much all the family there, bro. I remember sitting around in the change room before the game. I had a few boys. I just remember, Big Andrew, Fafita, he come over to me, he's just like, enjoy it, Brad. Like, like I got you out there. And then I just remember Gow didn't say too much. He was, through my whole time I played with Gow, he's always kept it simple.
Yep.
He's always, he just come up to me and said to me, you're here for a reason, mate. Just go out there and, do your job, and, we got you back.
Yep.
So, hearing them words from someone like him, growing up, watching him play, and then being able to run out there with him, and then, I was lucky enough to get offload from the big fella. To score on debut.
No way. Yeah. Meaty on debut, bro.
It was crazy.
Newcastle.
Yeah, it was crazy, bro. I didn't, not once did I even have in my mind like, I want to score or anything I was just pumped to be out there. And then, I think it was the second half. Big fella got the arm free and popped it to me, and went over for a bit of meat.
Holy. Hey?
Grouse.
So the great gal gave you your first try.
The great gal.
Does he remind you of every day or what?
He actually doesn't. I'm surprised he doesn't, but yeah.
Mate, if you remind him, he'll remind you.
Yeah, 100%. It was a great assist from the big man.
It's his second offload in his whole career.
I was about to say, he doesn't offload too much.
Do you remember that feeling of like as an outside back, there is no better feeling than when you see that space in front of you and you know that there's a try about to happen. Do you remember that feeling at all?
Yeah, it was crazy, bro. Like I just, you know what I mean? When you see the gap open up, you know, and you go through, and I think I went through and I still had I think the fullback was there. You know, I still remember it a fair bit. And I think I maybe shimmied or a little step or something and, you know, end up going around him and then
So you went overs, not unders? Like you stepped out rather than in?
I think he was there and like I just shimmied and I think I went on the outside. Yeah. Maybe outside or on the inside, yeah. And then I remember actually Chad come flying up too and I could have passed it to him to score, but I was like, nah. I'm taking this one. My first one. So when I seen then and I think I done the big dive and I was pumped, bro. And all the I was close to, you know, where all the family was sitting.
No way.
Yeah, so
could you see him when you got up? Like, did you have
I was trying to look around for him, but I couldn't. I was just so pumped. Like,
and then the boys come
and and the boys come, you know, fly in. So I was just pumped, bro. It was unreal moment.
It's that feeling, a try on debut, like you just never forget it.
Yeah,
you can score a billion other tries, but that try on debut,
there's nothing like it, bro. Still to this day, like I said, like we just explained, bro. That feeling, that rush, energy, you know, crazy.
I still remember specifically thinking, this is actually happening, as like on my debut when I scored, and I was in the clear. I literally was thinking, this is actually happening. It felt like a dream to it.
I'm on here.
I couldn't believe it, bro. So, mate, so you score a try on debut. And so the next year is essentially your breakout year kind of thing where you played really well. What do you think? Was it the confidence that you got from getting that late debut, or do you think that you really, because you got that debut, you became even more focused in the sense of, okay, I'm here now, the goal has been achieved, now it's about like cementing a spot?
I think it was more probably the confidence of the debut. You know, like, you know, when you go up, you know, you get that first grade game, and you know, you want to be back up there. You know, you want to be playing that, you know, week in, week out, and you know, obviously I knew that. I think it was earlier in that year or the end of the year or something. I knew Birdie was leaving. Yeah. So you know what I mean. I knew there was a real good opportunity that for a senator to come through, and you know, after having that game, I sort of wanted to, you know, prove a point, and you know, especially after being, I sort of had, you know, always had in the back of my mind, you know, the thing that happened at Manly, you know, told me they didn't think I'd play first grade. I sort of wanted to, you know, prove a point there as well.
For sure. I think I remember every single person that spoke negatively towards me playing first grade. Like I still remember a random dude that said I was too small to play NRL when I first signed as like in year 12. Yeah. And I was a soccer player, so I was skinny as bro. And this random dude, like don't even know him, he was at like a dinner party with my girlfriend at the time. And he was like, "What? You are way too small to play rugby league." Well, where are you now, bro? What are you doing now, bro? Doing nothing, bro. Okay, so so 2018 rolls around and like, you know, incredible year for you, but you signed quite early for the Knights in the season.
Yeah, so I ended up signing. I think it was in the preseason, bro. So when I got back, I think it was in November. I think it was just before the Chrissy break. You know, I ended up signing with Newcastle. You know, big sort of my whole decision around going back to New is to be closer to my little one. You know, I obviously made the sacrifice to move there, so to be able to, you know, you know, go full time and play NRL and be back close to my little one was, you know, just too good to be true, bro. You know, I was like, you know, jumped all over it, so signed straight away, and also like. I think at the time, Doogie had just signed with the club.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so Doogie just come over from the Dragons, I think it is. They signed him for the 2018 season. So I was like there's that centre spot.
Yeah, and he's on Bitcoin too.
Yeah, so I was like, probably there's that centre spot filled straight away. So I thought, straight away again, I'll be sort of back of the line. I have to wait for an injury or something probably to get another game.
Which is like funny because and obviously it was great that you got to move back near your child, but like if you had just waited 4 or 5 months and played as well as you did, that was your spot.
Yeah, crazy, bro. Yeah, so then I went into the preseason, but I think probably signing with Newcastle and giving me the sort of joy in me to know that I was going back to be close to my little one. I think that probably
motivated you.
Motivated me and helped me, have the sort of breakout year that I did. Gave me a bit of peace of mind that I'll be back there next year.
Got like almost like a carrot at the end of the stick kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I could just work hard for this year, then I get to be with my little one again.
Yeah, 100%. So, I'll come around to, I think it was the first game of the year, first 2 games of the year. The boys, I think, lost the first 2, and I think it was round 3. I was lucky enough to get called in. They lost the first 2 games of the year, and then I think they switched it up a bit. They put, I think Doogie went back to fullback. I think Val started the year on fullback, and I think Bealey was on the wing.
Yep.
And then I think it was Bealey, and then Doogie was in the centre. So I think they ended up moving it. Val went to wing, Doogie went back, and I was lucky enough to get a game.
Okay.
Round 3 against Para, and then we ended up winning that game. So I think the next week he went with the same team, and I think I ended up having a pretty good game, and I ended up having a pretty good year and held my spot. I think it was all year.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it was a really breakout year. Like, has your game always, you've got many strings to your bow, but super aggressive tackle breaking, or is that something you've built towards? Because you said you were a pretty skinny fellow when you were growing up.
Yeah, no, I've always tried to play, pretty aggressive. My old man he's a front rower. And he's a bit of a tough old fella. So he's always taught me to play aggressive and the way I do. And I used to, when I was a young fella, I used to love watching GI play and what a big fella played. And I used to love seeing how aggressive he was and stuff like that. So I just tried to bring that into my game.
Yep. Is it something that because when you get to first grade, you're playing against other guys that are really good at tackling. Were you surprised at your ability to win the contact as much as you did initially? You know what I mean? Because usually rookies they don't win the contact that much because they're young,
Yeah, I was actually, even when I went up to first grade training, you sort of, you find out real quick you're not as strong as you think you are in the wrestles and whatnot. So, them first couple of games, I actually, I was pretty surprised. I was like, especially come up against some big outside backs. I remember I played against, I think it was Kane Linnett.
Yeah, he's tall as, bro.
Big. I didn't realise how big he was.
Yeah.
But we had a pretty good battle.
Yep.
But I didn't realise I was just, some of them fellas are just so, so big and they just got that, that man strength. But I was lucky enough to be able to hold my own.
Mate, yeah, it's good. You ended up. Were you tackle breaks? I don't know if you were number 1, but were you at the top, whatever for tackle breaks?
Yeah, I think I was in the top. I think I was in the top. I was lucky enough. I think I got to go to the Daily M. I think I got nominated for Senior of the Year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my first year.
That's so good, bro.
I think it was me. I think it was Terrell and Joey Leilua, and I think Joey ended up.
Joey won.
Yeah, Joey won.
Yeah.
I think it was in 2018.
Okay, so that season, what else do you remember from that season? Is there any specific game? Obviously, you scored 2 tries against the Knights when you beat them 48-10 at Hunter Stadium. Bro, what's with you and the Knights, bro?
Oh, bro, bit of drama there.
100%. Holy heckers. So at this point, actually, earlier on, we'll go back a little bit. You played for New South Wales under-20s?
Yep.
What was that like? Young Indigenous fella from country, moved in at 11, putting that Blues jersey on, under-20s, with some guns. I'm assuming guns in that side. What was that like for you?
No, it was, bro. I was unreal. It was a bit different because I grew up liking Queensland. Obviously, all the
Bro, we got him, bro. We
all,
got
the,
him, bro.
all the black fellas and that played for Queensland. You know,
Yeah.
being a young Indigenous kid, I
Yeah.
grew up thinking, and it wasn't sort of until I, moved down to Newcastle Under Sports, and I sort of, you start to see when other kids are making the, the rep sides and the thing, and how much it means, and you sort of can't, you can't go for one and play for the others.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
I end up changing real quick, but that was the first time I got that that sort of, I guess, hatred that you get in towards each other, and how much that game means and that battle is. So, I was unreal, bro. It was an unreal week, and I was even better. I think the under-20s one was at the MCG.
Yeah.
So in Melbourne, and I was mad to play there, bro. And
Crazy.
yeah, it was
It's a big game, man. But it's bigger than, like, people with, under-20s Origin, but it's super aggressive and high quality. Like, it's people underestimate how you're basically looking at essentially nearly every player except for maybe 4 or 5 will probably play NRL in that game.
Yeah, and like you said, bro, it's crazy good. Talent's crazy. It's fast. It's everything that probably you think it's going to be. And like you said, you are playing against the best players.
Yeah.
In Australia, and
and they've all got a chip on their shoulder. Like, so for example, when we played, like, in the under-19s State of Origin, we got Gordon Tallis, like, gave us a speech before we went to the grounds.
Yeah.
And the speech was just about fighting. So, like, all in our head was, like, if anything kicks off, like, everyone has to go in. Bro, at this stage, I didn't even know how to throw a punch, but I'm just fucking in there.
Yeah, just there,
Just a
keen.
small winger just trying to...
Keen.
Anyway, because it's like Gordon Tallis, bro, the Raging Bull, one of the best ever. We're all fucking so revved up. And then, Jared Hayne, a guy called Kieran Lander, kicked off, and then you just, it was on full-blown brawl, because we were just itching to prove ourselves in the Origin arena.
Yeah, it's just
Crazy.
It just pumps you up, bro, like no other. Like you said, you know what it's like, and you just they're the moments you live for, bro.
So, like, growing up, obviously, because Queensland had so many incredible, great Indigenous players, like, now that you've been in the system and you can look at guys like the Fox and really good Indigenous players that play for New South Wales, do you really feel it now, like that New South Welshman in you kind of thing?
Yeah, definitely, bro. Especially after, even after putting the jersey on, you sort of you see how much it means, and when you have people come in and talk about it, like I think we had King was, talking to us at the time.
Yep.
Came in and talked to us, and you could hear it when he talks about it. How much it means, and what it means to put on that jersey, and you learn real quick about how important it is, and you sort of feel how honoured you are to wear it, bro. So
Yeah, for sure.
I learnt that real quick.
Yeah. Mate, Origin, how good is it? How good is it? Okay.
Yes.
So, so 2017, you have an incredible year. What's it like rocking up to so you went to the Dally M's that year?
Yeah, I end up going to the Dally
What's
M's.
that like for, like, you've had this breakout year, you're rolling into the Dally M's, these huge awards. What was it like for you?
It was crazy, bro. I was pumped being in there with all them. You got all the stars. Freaking Tuvasa Shek, all these players, and he's in there. I was just, soaking it up, bro.
Yeah.
I was going around, yarning to people. I was lucky enough, I think I got a suit. Managed to organise like a sponsor suit.
Oh,
I
sweet.
didn't even have a suit, never owned a suit, never wore a suit ever.
Oh, wow.
Managed to organise, I think it was like Van Houston or something.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so they end up like giving me a suit to wear.
Yep.
It was a grouse, bro.
So you'd never worn a suit before?
Never worn a suit.
First suit to the Dally M's?
First suit to the Dally M's.
Damn. That's
yeah,
crazy.
it was crazy, bro. So, I felt $1 million, but yeah, it was a
Looking
grouse.
flash, bro.
Yeah. Flash Corey up in there.
And was that the year when Roger won it?
Yeah, that was when Roger won the...
What was that
the
like
Dally
being in
M.
the room for that?
Yeah, it was a grouse, bro. I think a few of the boys jumped up and did the haka for him.
Yeah.
It was an unreal moment, bro, I reckon.
Crazy.
Sitting in the crowd, watching that there. It was crazy.
This year, what was so good, I'm not sure if they showed it on TV, but there was some Indigenous dancing there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the Dally M. Yeah. And Nico, full face paint, everything. was doing the dance.
Oh, Nico did it,
Yeah, full Indigenous dance, everything. I'm not sure whether they showed it on TV, but in the room, they did it before the ceremony of like I'm pretty sure before it all started. And Nico was, he was in there, bro.
Actually, I think that was Darren and the boys did. I think the same fellas that come in and do the Indigenous All Stars for us.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So Nico was actually from the start. Like obviously it was Nico's first All Stars last year. But yeah, from the start he was keen as to learn the dancing. So that must have been what he was.
I'm pretty, unless I'm not misremembering, I'm pretty sure he was with them dancing. I'm pretty sure to open the ceremony, but it definitely happened. And it was great to see. Okay, so then you do sign with the Newey Knights. What's it like when you kind of first get up there? Is it are you as motivated, as ready to go? Is it exciting? Life is good. Like life was good before, but life is great now. The dream has been realised. Your kid, you can be with it. You've got an NRL contract. What was it like?
Yeah, no, it was pretty good. Obviously pre-season, I ended up moving back to the Central Coast. I was living on the Central Coast, just travelling up to Newey. But I get there, it was, all pretty good. Pre-season is obviously
tough.
Yeah, tough. Shit house as it is. It was a lot harder than the Sharks one. Actually, it was.
Yeah.
It was. I end up like 3 weeks in. I hurt my calf straight away.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I end up doing my calf. I think it put me out for like a week. But other than that, when I got there, I was mad, but good vibes.
Yep.
All the boys were welcoming. It was good, but it was real good.
And so you're rolling into the season. You make your Knights debut round 1 with a win over the Sharks. Bro, why do you hate your former areas for?
I don't know what it is. It's crazy. But I was obviously, in the preseason we found out we're going to be playing the Sharks. So I was, super pumped to be able to, debut round 1 and then to go out there and, get a win. It was good seeing all the boys again and, just being able to say that, got one up on them. Even now, some of the boys still talk about it.
Yeah,
yeah, about when they lost to us back in round 1 there.
Mate, what a win. Okay, and then so for the rest of the year, like it just for some reason it doesn't seem to be working. Like what? There's a lot of reportedly this, reportedly that. Like what was really the concern for yourself at the Knights?
Yeah, I think it's probably a situation of like a few things, but obviously, there was a lot of stuff going on with me and Brownie, at the time. Probably we didn't see eye to eye and didn't get along. And, if you're not getting along with the coach, it's a hard one. And, it was probably my first time in my career that I was sort of seeing the side of like media and what media can do, bro. Being a young fella and, in my mind, I'm like, I'm not, I've just come here to play. I'm not no big superstar, and I'm getting reported on the paper.
Yeah.
Ramien, bad boy, and this that. I think I signed up there and I think I was on like 150 or something like that.
So it's not like a marquee sign.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. I was just. I wanted to get back up there to be close to the little one.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean. It's not like I was a huge big marquee signing coming up and thing. I only debuted the year before.
Yeah.
And it was the first. I guess it was the first real time, like I said, bro, that I got sort of that attention in the media, and I just don't think I was like at the time. It wasn't something that I was ready for. Sort of.
100%. I mean, who could be ready for it?
Sort of. Some people, and like you said, some people deal with it, pretty good, and I guess I just probably didn't deal with it as good as I thought I could. I probably at the start, hit it a bit, and only probably those closest to me, seeing how it really was, and I guess it sort of showed in performances. On the field, bro.
It's tough, man. Like we had Quade Cooper recently on the podcast. Like, one of the best union players for Australia in quite a long time, or at least one of the better ones. He struggled with it as well. Like it's very rare a young rookie, when that media machine gets to churning, that rookie doesn't get affected negatively. Like it's just rare, bro. Yeah,
it is, and it's crazy, bro. Like we'll have a media sessions, and I just felt like it was they're asking the same questions over and over again. What how's how do you think your performance is, and and then they, as a young fella, you don't really know how to talk to the media.
Yep.
And
You don't know as well that you're getting pushed and prodded into certain.
And they're sort of, you know, they've got their little, you know, tricks that they use to, you know, steer you down a path or to get you to, you know, say something, and you know, at the same time you try not to say the wrong thing, try not to do the wrong thing. You know, all I was worried about was playing footy, and then, you know, I'm seeing stuff in the media. I'm taking it home. It's, you know, affecting me, you know, at home, and like I said before, it's probably, you know, a big reason to and contributed to you know, my performances on the field when I was there.
And so, at what point did you realise, you know what, I need to change? I need to get out of here. Was that from the club's side, or was that from your side, or was it a mutual thing, or?
The more decision on leaving was from the club side. So I was actually, I think I rocked up to training one day, and Brownie just come to me and was like, I just been heard you talking to other clubs, and I was just like nah, like I haven't been talking to anyone, but like I'm here, I'm happy to be here, and that, like I'm thinking, he's just like oh well, like if you're not happy to be here, mate, there's no point like staying, like you might as well go. And then I end up just grabbing my gear. It was the afternoon session. I ended up grabbing my gear and leaving, and that was just pretty much it. Then from there, we end up like mutually just parting ways, bro.
Yeah.
With the club.
So you weren't like talking to any other clubs, but he just heard that you had. So
yeah. So like obviously, you know, if a player's unhappy, there's rumours starting to, you know, as they do. Like I said, the media do their own thing, and you know, there's rumours going around that I was talking to this club and that, and all. You know, I just wanted to try and play good footy. Yep. And yeah, obviously, you know, at the time we weren't doing too well the nights, you know, and understandably, you know, as a head coach, it comes with a lot of pressure, brother. You know, you're going to be, you know, people firing shots at you every week, and you know, he probably felt that pressure, and you know, at the time, I guess that's, you know, probably, the clash of, you know, what he was feeling and how I was feeling.
Yeah, it's a funny thing, like with pressure, and when you're not going well, negative things can happen that if you're going okay, they just don't. Like it's just the way footy is, bro.
Yeah, and exactly, bro. And you know, that's the way it is. I could have, you know, went there, had a great time, and played great footy and loved it, bro. But you know, unfortunately, it's not the way it was. And you know, if it wasn't for that to happen, you know, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Yeah. So I was going to say, how did the Sharkies situation come back up to get back into the Sharkies?
Yeah. So when I actually left the Knights. I didn't even want to have any meetings at all. I just wanted to get away from footy for a bit, you know. Like I touched on earlier, I was first time being exposed to media, you know, took a big toll on me, so I just wanted to, you know, have a bit of time away. I didn't train, did nothing. I think I put on about 10, 15 kilos, just like that, just quick as. And but that sort of time in between, I guess it, you know, it showed me that I sort of, you know, I never really lost love for the game, but I was like, you know, it got me more passionate to get back. Yeah, I was starting to, you know, after, you know, getting pumped by the media and that, I was starting to lose sort of the love for it. It felt more like work and you know, something I'm, you know, forced to go do rather than something I turn up love doing. Yep. And you know, being away for that bit sort of, you know, made me realise like it's definitely what I want to do and what I want to think. And you know, I was lucky enough. Johnny Morris was the coach again of the first grade side at the time, and he, you know, gave me a text and just said, "Mate, like if you're, you know, ready to talk, we're definitely be interested in having a yarn and potentially getting you back here if that's something you're looking for, like I'm open to." And you know, I was thought about it, and I was like, you know, I loved my time when I was at Cronulla. Yep. So I played my best footy, so I was like, I just want to get back there. Yeah,
it's like as I said, some clubs and setups just suit certain people.
Yeah,
you know, like,
100%, bro.
Like when I went to the Warriors, like there's nothing wrong with the club, and a lot of it was me being young and dealing with shit in the wrong way. But Broncos for me was just home. Like it was just home, bro. That's what worked for me, bro.
Yeah, and that's it, bro. And you know, and that's the exact same against me. Nothing against Knights, but like, Sharks for me is just home. It's just a feeling when I'm there, bro.
Yeah,
I
100%.
love it. Shark Park, I love being there.
Yeah.
I love putting that blue and white jersey on.
Yep.
It's crazy.
So you get back, and I assume and basically, did you basically play the rest of the year that year?
Yeah, I think in 2020, basically played the rest of the year, but I wasn't, what I mean. I just got back. I probably, wasn't as ready. Wasn't as fit as fast as, what I knew I could be. So I guess I just, I played. I think I played the rest of the year out, but
Yep.
I was sluggish and I was pretty disappointed. And I think it was at the end of 2020. I was happy to be back at the Sharks, but
Yep.
it was a pretty disappointing year.
Yeah, it can knock you about, when something goes as wrong as whatever happened to the Knights. Not saying it's anything negative to them, but as in everything that happened can take you a while to get everything, your head right, your body right, everything back where it should be to go again, kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. And I remember, like I said, being pretty disappointed at the end of the year. I thought I'd go back to the Sharks.
Yeah.
Get back to playing hours the year before, and it just didn't happen like that. And that's when I knew I guess I got to become a bit more professional and put the work in if I want to get the results out in the field.
And so 2021, you 17 appearances. You just missed the finals that year. But 17 appearances, that's 2 essential full years of first grade, which is it's really interesting because you'd been in first grade for maybe 4 or 5 years now, but with everything that happened to the Knights and you know what I mean? You kind of missed that year. Were you, after 2021, was that when you were kind of beginning to be I am a first grader, week in, week out, this is what I need to do to be at that level kind of thing?
Yeah, I was probably after 21 when I started to, really feel like, probably myself again. When I started to get that confidence back.
Yeah.
When I started to, believe I was the best player out in the field and started to get all that back. 20, I feel like 21 was just a sort of a bit of a improvement on 22, but, I still needed to
get even better.
Get even better and probably and step it up. So coming into, I think, the end of 21, I was pretty filthy. I think we lost to Canberra down in Canberra.
Yeah.
I think we lost to them, and I remember being I wasn't as filthy, but I still I know I've still got a long way to go. I can still got heaps better, in me, and I know I can improve.
Mm. And so also that year, what would be really interesting for you personally is obviously Craig Fitzgibbon has come and been incredible, but I'm assuming you would have had a pretty good relationship with Morris and how that all kind of went down. Were you a bit not concerned, but when you've got a coach that really does rate you and then they get sacked, it's almost like you need to earn that again with another coach kind of thing? Yeah,
definitely. I knew sort of when they signed Fitzy, it's obviously, everything goes back to pretty much, ground zero, but a new coach, you come in, you got to, prove yourself. A new coach might like a certain thing, but, I looked at it as a positive, a chance, a fresh start for me.
Yep.
And obviously Fitzy had talked to me, when he signed, obviously told me that, what he wanted from me and, what he think I could improve on. And, I went into the preseason with just a sponge mindset, but I just tried to, take everything in from him and really just tried to work on all the little things in my game and improve them and just bring him into the new season.
Mm. And so, 2000, actually, we'll go to 2020, actually. You make your Indigenous All Stars debut. What was that first camp like?
Yeah, it was unreal, bro. To get in, amongst all the boys, all the culture you do in the week. I didn't realise how much stuff we did during the week in terms of culture and, how much talks and that you do. But, it was unreal, bro. I just tried to, soak it all up, and I was lucky enough to be rooming with Willie Chambers.
The great Willie Chambers, mate.
Willie Chambers, he's a bit of a freaky man. But
he's a freaky man.
He's a freaky man, all right. Yeah,
but you remember that fight I was telling you about in Origin?
Yeah.
So you can go on YouTube, you can write under 19's State of Origin Blue. Anyway, so there's people just punching him everywhere. Dave Taylor, Jared Hayne, like Izzy Folau was running around. Like, anyway, there's this skinny little fella in a headgear, absolutely feeding a back rower. It's the great Willie Chambers, bro, in a white headgear, just feeding this back rower, and he was obviously centre back then.
Yeah, he's not afraid to let him go.
Bro, not afraid to let him go. So if you want to see the Will Chambers fucking feeding someone,
You want to have hands, how much he talks.
100%, bro. That was like. Yeah, I mean, when after the game finished, we lost, so fucking that sucked. But just watching him do that, we were just all like, "Bruh, you're the man, you're the man."
Crazy,
bro. I personally reckon Will Chambers for the period of like probably before Latrell arrived, I thought he's the best centre in the game for at least 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, 100%, bro. I reckon he was, unreal. I loved, obviously, growing up watching GI, but then, as I got a little bit older, I used to love watching. Will play.
Yeah.
He could pass. He could hit a hole. Bounce out. He had that fend. He had a kicking game.
Yeah, mad defense too.
Yeah, and that's when I sort of started to learn a bit more about adding stuff to your game. Sort of watching him the way he played.
Yeah.
He wasn't the biggest in terms of like running, bumping someone off straight over the top of him. But he had good feet.
Yeah.
Could kick. Could pass. Could hit a hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
he's a real. Yeah, you're right. He was like a complete centre.
Yeah,
like he didn't just
100%.
rely specifically on one thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, your room with Will Chambers, and what was it like? That first, running out with the Indigenous jersey on. Was your family there?
Yeah. So, lucky enough, my my mum and my dad made the trip down. They actually drove down.
Oh no way!
It was crazy, big drive.
Far out.
Yeah, so they drove down, but it was unreal, bro. Like I think my mum teared up a bit and watching me run out.
Yeah.
It was unreal. And I was lucky enough to I don't know if I scored a try. No, I think I was lucky enough to. I think I set one up for Bevo. I got a kick in and Bevan French chased it down and scored. But moment I'll never forget, bro.
And so your first year, was that the first year that you played the Maldies?
Yeah, it was. It was.
I love that setup way better, if I'm being honest. As an outsider looking in, I love the Indigenous boys playing the Māori boys. But did you? I mean, obviously you didn't get a chance to play the All Stars. But what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I love it more, bro. I think it definitely it means a lot. Like it means a lot more to, obviously, playing. Just playing footy in general is one thing, but then playing for your culture or your heritage, and I think it it just goes to another level.
Yeah,
especially when you're playing with all your brothers, and you see how much it means to them every time they do the haka.
Yeah,
like as much as you stand there, gives you goosebumps, and you love seeing how passionate they are, and then we do our thing, and
so good, bro.
How passionate we are, and it builds a game, bro.
Yeah,
and I think
that's
unreal.
There's something right about it too, like the Indigenous people of their land versus the Indigenous people of our land. Like that's the way. Like
it's like it's meant to be, bro.
100%,
it's crazy,
100%. And it's the week leading up as well that's so important that you touched on all the stuff you guys do.
Yeah, I don't think the All Stars itself wouldn't be what it is if we didn't get to do what we did in the week.
Yeah,
it means so much to all the young kids and communities and that we get to go out and see. When we rock up there, whether it's for 5 minutes or an hour, the smiles on the kids' faces, even some of the old aunties and uncles.
Yeah,
I mean, it means the world to them to have that we come to the community and we're able to do these events and that.
Yep.
So I think as important as the game is, I think for us, it's probably more important during the week, giving back to our people.
Who was because I know you Indigenous boys get together, there's going to be a lot of laughter. Who was the MVP of like just so much chat?
It's probably Fergie and Fox, bro. When they get together, bro. My first one, so I think it was Foxy's first one. I think it was Foxy's first one. But then Fox, Fergie, and then Jimmy the Jet when they were all together.
My God.
Fergie crazy.
Is a different cat, bro.
Fergie's a different species, bro. He's a different man. You'll never meet another Fergie.
Nah, 100%.
Bro, he's obviously. I still remember, so I think it was that first one in Melbourne. I come down to train. I think we were leaving for training like maybe 8 o'clock, and I come down into breakfast, and I'm like, I wake up early, bro, all the time, and I come down. I think it was like 6:30 into breakfast. Fergie's sitting down at breakfast having a can of Coke, bro.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
6:30 in the morning.
Oh, no.
Can of Coke.
It's like just sugar.
And I'm like, what are you doing, bro? He's like, getting ready for training, bread.
Fuck.
6:30 in the morning, bro.
Bro, and this is 2020.
Yeah.
So he's not a rookie. He's a veteran, bro.
He's sitting there having a can of Coke.
Oh, my God. He's won premierships and shit.
Bread. And even at training, he's just cruising. He's cruising out in the ring, and he's just talking to himself, bro. The whole time out of training, he's just chuck the ball to the Ferg, let the Ferg do the rest. Get the ball to the Ferg. Like he's in third person, bro. So I've never seen anything like it.
Get the ball to the first.
And then and because they're on, so like Fox and Ferg on opposite wings, and Fox is just sitting there just tormenting him. Like, look at this cunt, man. Give me the ball, I'll smoke him. Fergie's like, try it, bro, try it. I'll take you out off, bro. And they're just, oh, bro, it's that funny when you get with the two of them.
Oh, fuck, how good. Okay, so, and then basically you've played every year since then?
Yep.
And is it something that you just get pumped for, like every year pretty much?
Yeah, it is, bro. You know, it's that first game, start your year, especially, with how much it means, bro, and the culture.
Yeah.
I don't think you need, pumping up. You get in the camp, you're around your brothers, you build through that week, and then you get to the game, bro. And it's just, there's nothing like it.
Nah, 100%. This year's going to be interesting. It's over in New Zealand this year, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think it'll be unreal, bro, being over there. I
100%.
don't think there'll be too many black fellas over there,
Too
bro.
cold, bro.
Yeah, but I think it'll be good, bro. It'll be good, like I said, it'll be good for the Maldives.
Yeah, for sure.
All the time. It's last couple of years it's been here. It'd be good to go give back to their culture, and they get to immerse themselves in their culture while they're over there. And I'm pretty sure when we go over there that we'll learn a fair bit of probably their culture too.
I think, and this is just from outside looking in, I think it'll be good for Indigenous Australia as well because the rest of the world, we haven't been good enough in expressing what our Indigenous culture is. If you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
100%.
You boys going over there and showing what the Indigenous culture of Australia is.
Yeah, definitely, bro.
There'll be a lot of Maldives that don't know.
Yeah, 100%. There's definitely a lot that you don't know, and at the same time, we could probably learn a lot from the Māori culture, and
sure.
how they go about their culture, and how much it means to them, and that's what I was saying before. I'm pretty sure that when we get over there, that all the greeting stuff that they do, and there's a lot of similarities in the cultures.
Yep.
And I think that's why the game means so much, bro.
100%. So this year, 2022 rolls around. In the preseason, could you feel something different, or because you genuinely that game, the finals game, and we'll get to the finals game, but if one play goes your way, you're into a prelim.
Yeah.
Could you feel something different this year? But the problem is nearly every preseason you feel like, wow, we're killing it. Get to round one, you get towed up. What happened?
There's always that, bro. You feel like you're flying at the end of preseason. I think everyone's just keen to play, bro.
Yeah.
Get out in the trials and you're blowing first round.
100%. But did you feel? Was there any feeling difference? Did you just feel closer, or not really?
There was, bro. Everyone felt super close. Everyone from the start, everyone straight away brought into what Fitzhill's bringing. He's pretty much come in. Changed, brought all his own stuff in.
Yep.
The way he wanted to do things, defense attack. Everyone brought straight into that. But then, in terms of training, I think having Dale, from the Storms, Cam with our professional ears, they really led probably from what we lacked in terms of training. They, I guess, raised the bar, and like you were saying before, it probably took everyone from here and drove our standards up, and that flowed through to the whole year for us. So I think coming from the Melbourne and the standards that they have, Dale, brought that here, and I think that had that domino effect to everyone.
For sure. It's really interesting because obviously I do the Monday show where we review rugby league and we talk about signings and that. And I remember when Dale was coming off contract at the Storm, and I was saying any club should sign this guy because it's not even about the 80 minutes on the weekend.
Yeah.
It's about the training Monday to Friday
Yeah.
that he's going to change everything for you.
Yeah, 100%, bro. And, and you see it, especially after, it's easy for what he's done to, sign the deal, come here and cruise,
Yeah.
but to still rock up, he's the first one in at training. He's out before anyone doing his warm-ups. He's the last one to leave the field.
Yeah.
He's the first one to do extras. And yet he's the nicest bloke off the field.
Legend.
Champion off the field. So, to come in and still be doing what he's doing, after what he's done in the game.
Yep.
It's, inspirational to, guys like myself and especially, our younger forwards like Braids and Britt. And, we're seeing how good them fellas played this year.
Yep.
I think having, someone like him and Camo there has rubbed off on them massively, bro.
Do the boys, oi, Dale, sing us a tune, bro?
Yeah, bro. They give it to him heavy. Every day. He's got that deep husky voice too. Big romantic he is.
Oh, how good. Okay, so yeah, this season rolls around and just it's an incredible season. And Nico, I predicted that. I thought that you should, again, we do the review show, and at the start of the year, I was like, I think he should be the 7 because I feel like he's the best suited in your squad to be the 7. And some were like, oh, maybe Matty Moylan, maybe Trindle, and I was like, no, I think Nico could be the guy. But I did not know that he would do as well as he did. Holy shit!
Yeah.
What was the feeling like working with a player because being a centre, it's so important that you can work well with your kind of 7 kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Nico's someone. I think he's, someone. He's obviously, debuted a lot later than others. So I think he understands that he's had to work very hard in his game. And he does work extremely hard, bro.
Yeah.
He does a lot of extras. He's always grabbing me, but let me hear you on some tunnel balls. Let me do this. What do you want? What do you want from me? He's always trying to pick. I think he's just a real just footy brain, but he just loves it and lives it. And, after seeing sort of how he prepares and how hard he works on his game, to me, it was no surprise that he had the year that he did.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, and then, for me to be outside him, it was just unreal, bro. You see some of the stuff that he does, and myself and Sione and Britton, we benefit a lot off how he plays, and it only makes us look better. So,
bro, Sione for me is I know he's rated internally, but he's one of the most underrated wingers in the game. Matter of fact, I would argue him and Mulatalo, the wingers, they're so Mulatalo, for example, and I love Mulatalo, but he's long and skinny, bro. Yeah. And so you think, nah, he's not that quick and he's not that strong, bro. He's fucking quick and strong, bro.
Yeah, and it's crazy, bro. Ronnie's another one, bro. I think he's come a long way, and he works hard in his game as well. But for me, was lucky enough to come through 20s playing with C. C's always been my winger. So
good, bro.
So we got that good connection, bro. But I think he's massively underrated, bro. Some of the stuff he finishes off, you wouldn't see. It's crazy, bro. You don't see half the people.
Yeah, and
do what
his
he
footwork
does.
and his ball carries out of his own end, bro. It's so hectic. But yourself this year, I feel like this year, you had your breakout year, which a lot of people remember. But I feel like this year you played a really mature role. You still had that really strong aggression, tackle breaking, but I felt like everything else was kind of brought up a bit as well to that standard. What did you feel like your year was like?
Yeah, I felt like it was pretty good, but I felt like I had a real good preseason. I felt like I put a lot of work into my game. I worked on really a lot of things that I didn't work on before, and I think that contributed, into having sort of the year that I did.
Yeah, okay.
I guess, and probably helped that I had Nico inside me as well.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is that you scored the same amount of tries as you did in your breakout year.
Oh, there you go.
10 tries, bro. 9 try assists, most try assists you've ever had, most line breaks you've ever had, most receipts you've ever had, most tackles you've ever made, and what else I got here? And just the second most run meters you've ever had. So it's like your best year statistically, at least.
Yeah, well,
You probably didn't know that. But.
no, I didn't at all, bro. But yeah, I think it was probably, like I touched on with Fitzy coming, I looked at it as sort of a fresh start, like I wanted to prove myself again, and and prove that I was sort of, I wanted to earn my spot and prove that I was the best centre, and I just had that mindset going into 2022, and I was pretty lucky that I played 20s with Nico. We used to carpool down when we were at Manly together.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we sort of already knew each other, and I knew he obviously developed his game a lot, but I was lucky enough to be able to play with him before, so we built that connection pretty quick, and then how our whole right side stayed the same as previous years. So it was, when you got a good combination with your winger, I can throw a ball and see he knows what I'm going to do, and
Sure.
I'm the same with Britt. If Britt's inside, and I think it's only going to get better for us, bro.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Like it's a young side as well. It's so impressive. But bro, walk us through the tough loss in the last game against the Cowboys.
Oh, bro.
What do you remember from that?
It was heartbreaking, to be honest, bro. I thought we had it. Like I thought on the side, like on the, like I know it's hard, it's easy to sit there and say, but I felt like we were the better side. Like we just come out, like we're so pumped up for it. We know going into that game, finishing that, we had finished in a real good spot, top two. You know that second chance is there, but all our focus was, you win this, we get that week off, and it's a game to get into the grand final.
Yeah.
And, we put everything into that game, and Val hits us with a 40-meter field goal to win the game, bro. And
Former Shark too.
Bruh.
How could you do it, bro?
Couldn't have read it any better for him, but it definitely hurt us, bro. We put, I think, what that game go, like extra time.
Yeah, it was crazy, man.
And I think Jace scored with like
a minute, not even that. Yeah.
Not even a minute
and
on the clock.
The crazy thing is that probably only Jace could have scored that.
Yeah,
because it's
no one else. Like, what if someone go to hit him low and he bumps him off? And it's crazy, bro. And like it comes back to, but like when something like that happens, you always think back to like the little moments. Could I have done this? And there's just so many like little things you start to, and you try and micro pick the game, bro. And it's just crazy.
Yeah, and it's not worth it, because it's like there's so many little things that you could have made a different decision, but in the moment you thought that was the right decision. You didn't make it intentionally.
100%, bro. Well, I remember they were like, I think it was on that play, and they were still like, I think they were in their half, and I was like fuck, we're good here, like, and they roll all the way down the field, and Jace gets it with not a thing, and then they still had to get the kick, and and Val gets the kick, and I'm just like that's
man. Also, the game where you went down to 11 men. Do you remember that game against the Warriors?
Yes.
What was that? Was insane.
Bro, it was crazy. I think first one, Willie Kennedy gets done with a high shot. I think while she steps him, chucks the arm out, gets sent off, and then
settle down, Will.
Yeah, Will.
Too aggressive, bro.
I think it's just knockout footy, cuz.
Actually, it's funny. I met him after a knockout tournament. Like I'd gone out there like just for one day to watch it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was. I don't think it was an official one, but it was a similar one. I could be wrong. It was one of the years where they may have had it off. Anyway, yeah, I met him on a plane on the way back.
Did you?
Yeah.
Is that from? Where was it at?
I think it's like Dubbo, maybe.
Yeah, Dubbo.
Yeah. And so I just went out to have a look in that. Yeah. And he was on the plane on the way back. But yeah, great fella.
Yeah, no, he's a good fella, bro. Yeah, but he got done. I was pretty surprised. He got sent for the game. Like I think it was in the first like 20 minutes or something. Yeah, and they just sent him straight away for the game.
Yep.
I think that was around the point I was cracking down on the high tackles, and then I think mine was, I think it was late in the second half, was it? Mine. I put a shot on. I was pumped up at the time. I thought it was a mad shot, and then I watched the replay, and the head went down. I was just like, fuck, I'm in trouble here. So
what's the like, because you like to play aggressive and like you obviously will try to do those shots, is it almost at the point now where you're like, I just can't risk it?
I think it's getting to that point of like if I guess if you don't got the right, like if you're not going in with the right technique and that, bro, like nowadays you just can't afford to do it. Like like as much as you want to be aggressive, if you like come out and do something like that, like you're only hurting your team.
Yeah.
Like it's just not. It's
not
sort
worth
of
it.
yeah. It's not like it's getting to the point where it's just not worth it. Like
Yeah.
I think I did that and I'm out for 3 weeks, and I think we'd lose. And I'm not saying I think we lost 2 games, but I'm saying like we lost because I was out. I'm just saying like
But you're still part
know
of the
what
best
I mean?
17.
Yeah, like you know what I mean? Like I didn't, put the team first and put like, in the best position that we can be in, and little things like that, but you can't.
Yeah.
I guess it's not worth it if you can't get a tackle right. I guess there's no.
Bother.
Yeah, you can't even bother these days, bro. Like there's too many cameras and and it's so technical, bro. Like,
Sometimes I feel like they slow it down too much, and I'm just like, I don't really feel like that really touched his head that badly, but it's just a big shot. But
I feel like there's heaps of them that there'll be like 5 times, like 10 times slow mo, and it looks 50 times worse.
Yeah.
And you just think, but it's not slow mo.
Yeah,
like it's not
100%.
You know what I mean?
Like when they do slow mo too, it looks like you had longer to make a decision.
Yeah.
When it's in fast, it happens like that.
Yeah,
Like, it's done.
And that's what they don't like. At the end of the day, they're doing their job, but like, you know what I mean? Like when you're out there, you got adrenaline, you got somebody trying to run over me, and I'm trying to stop the bloke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, collisions like gonna happen, bro.
Yeah. Never gonna get rid of it. But but then you're on the sideline and the boys managed to get the win. Do you think like that was a real moment for you guys as a team of like we truly have something special here?
Yeah, it was, bro. Like I remember after the game, that was probably out of all our wins all year, that would be one of, if not the most proud of. Like that probably Fitzy was and the boys were.
Yeah.
Of each other to go down to 11 and still win. And I don't think, and not just win. Like I think we didn't concede. We conceded maybe 1 try, or
You almost started playing like, especially defensively, like everything just tightened up.
yeah. And that's the thing. And that's sort of when we knew that everything that we were working towards, and everything that Fitzy brought in from the preseason, and how close we were becoming, sort of. Started to take effect. To have 11 blokes out there, it's very easy for it to just go.
Yeah.
To switch off like that.
You got an excuse.
Yeah, for someone, one person turns in, one person, rushes out, try comes easy.
Easy.
And, we all just had each other's back when that, when we were down there, and, we got through it, and that gave us the confidence to keep going on with it, bro.
It's going to be real interesting this year for you guys because, like, yes, last year was so incredible, but like now the standard's set and other teams like see you now as a threat. Whereas, not that they didn't see you as a threat before, but it's almost like, when I was coming through with the Broncos, like everyone fucking hated it. Like not hated, but they wanted to beat the Broncos.
Yeah.
Like, and so like the Sharkies now, you finish second. Like, there's a target on your back this year.
Yeah, definitely, and we know that, and we understand that, and I guess I feel like preseason. Obviously, a lot of the boys from the World Cup ain't back, but this preseason's gone to another level compared to last year, and we've only and Fitzy and the playing group, we've set high standards, and obviously we know that there'll be a lot of teams that'll we're sort of one of the teams that I guess people are going to be coming for. When you look in previous years when you're playing Melbourne, when you're playing Panthers, you really got to get up to play them, and we know that people are going to be coming for us like that now, but we're looking forward to the challenge. Like I said, money improving. I think I think last year was only a glimpse of what we can do, but we've still got miles to go.
Yeah. I mean, first year Hines has played 7. Yourself back in the best form. Katoa, Mulatalo, Talakai first full year at centre. Just great. You forward pack relatively young. You got Hunt, Ueli, like fuck, bro. It's just it's a good side, bro.
Yeah, it is, bro. And like I said, like I think we've got that good mix, bro. Like we've got a few older, we've got Dale, Camo there, but then we've got Braids. He's starting to get to that. I think he's around like 100 games now.
Yep.
He's played for New Zealand. Obviously, you got Brett played a couple games for New Zealand now.
Yep. You're nearly at the 100 games, bro.
Yeah, close.
Games.
Got real close, bro.
Shit, who would have thought, eh?
Hey, kid from Canamble, bro.
100%, 100 games, bro. And that's the age old one. You're a full NRL player. When you hit 100 games, it's like you're locked in as a proper rah-rah. Whereas like when I was coming through, I only ended up playing like 40 or so. I was always told like, nah, you're not a full NRL player till you play like 100 games.
Yeah, well, they even still say that now. Like sometimes when I think it was Cam McInnes. They got James Graham to come in and talking to him, and I think Cam was playing his 150, and I think he said 150. He goes, you're not a first grader till you played 150, mate.
That's a G up.
Fucking pretty soon it'll be 200.
100%, it'll be 300 bar. Fucking relax.
It was crazy I think in the preseason. They were doing a bit of work on the grass. I think the grass died at the stadium, and there wasn't many car parking spots. So you come in. Team manager come in and he's like, yeah, boys, you're not allowed to park in if you haven't played, I think he said like 80 or 90 games. And all the boys' faces just dropped. There's like there's only like 3 or 4 players that are over 90 games. That's fucked. Because everyone's so young.
Yeah.
It's crazy, bro.
I mean, Nico wouldn't even be able to
No, he's not.
The Dally M winner.
Daly M will out. What does Nico play? I think has he played 50-something? 50-something?
Mate, not even that. No, not even that. Maybe like 30-something.
There you go.
Because he had that one season, the Storm, and it was only a few games. So he might be around 40.
There you go.
He's not an NRL player yet, bro.
No, 150.
You got 150, bro. Come on, bro.
He's on 61.
61? Yeah, he's not an NRL player.
Nah.
Dally M of the year, not an NRL player.
When he gets to 100.
Mate, I ask all the boys this: favorite rapper of all time?
Favorite rapper? I like Drake.
Drizzy?
Yeah, Drake. I like a bit of Tupac as well.
I mean, the GOAT. Like,
the GOAT, all right.
Eminem's the GOAT for me. Like, is in the amount I've listened to. But like, when it comes to impact and talking about things like 20 years ago that are still relevant today, bruh, Tupac's a GOAT.
Even when you watch that, like I didn't really understand until you watch that, like his documentary.
Yep.
And then you see how much of like.
It's a genius, bro.
Had. Yeah, like everything. Like it's not just he's not rap like you said. Like the rappers today, like rap with the words and like the way they say shit for the sake of saying it.
Yeah,
like all his shit's actually a story, and everything that was going on in the time, bro, it's crazy.
And he's like, you could if you released the song today, it would still be relevant to what's happening today.
100%.
Crazy. He was actually Tupac. Is the first CD I ever bought. Tupac Greatest Hits when I was in grade 6.
Oh, sir.
Bro, I thought it was mad. I thought it was a
We
man.
were pumping it.
Bro, pumping it.
Walking around with the do-rag. The bandana, bro.
But I thought I was mad though, bro. I did go, I'll be honest, I did go through a champion phase and data and that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, bro.
Was it the FUBU?
FUBU, yeah. Oh, shit, Sean John. Oh, my God. Favorite movie of all time, bro?
Favorite movie? Be fuck, I don't know.
What was the first thing that came to your mind? Doesn't have to be your answer.
First thing that came to mind: Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh, bro, what a movie!
Yeah,
when he's walking out of getting that job and he's like crying and shit, that fucks me up every time, bro.
Yeah. Or The Blind Side. The Blind Side's pretty good too.
Oh shit,
Blind Side's mad.
That's mad, and the fact that it's like they're both true stories too.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Pursuit of Happiness. I love the bit as well where I think is his kid shooting basketball and the kid says something like, I want to be a basketball player, and then Will Smith is kind of like, he says something like, don't be silly, focus on that. And then he turns around and goes, you know what? Don't ever listen to me again. I'm like, damn. Will can act, bro. He can act. Bro, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I appreciate it, bro.
Thanks for having me, bro. I appreciate it.